Ever feel like the internet is just sucking up all your time, all your attention?
It can be a bit of a time warp, can't it?
Well, today we're diving into cybersecurity and website efficiency.
Sounds intriguing.
Specifically, how AI is fueling some
Interesting.
unexpected consequences.
Yeah, it's a fascinating landscape.
That's right.
And I know that you've been really interested in cybersecurity, particularly all of this stuff that Bapasec, the experts, have been finding such great work.
It really made this deep dive a must-do.
It did.
Their interview on Cyber Afterwork was...
so eye-opening.
It was eye-opening.
It was a little concerning.
A little concerning, yeah.
I mean, finding out that something as simple as website visits can actually hurt a company's bottom line.
Yeah, it all comes down to AI and how much data those algorithms need to learn.
Yeah.
Websites are prime targets for scraping, they call it.
Scraping.
Or web indexing.
And that's where the bots come in.
Okay, so hold on.
They're like little vacuum cleaners.
Let me get this straight. These bots are visiting websites, not people.
Yeah, not real people.
And they're taking the data.
Gobble it up.
To give to AI.
Yeah, to train AI.
And that's happening even if
that's right.
a company isn't directly involved in AI themselves.
That's right. Bapasec even gave the example of Facebook, or Meta as they're now called.
Right.
Harvesting user data in Australia to train their AI.
Oh, wow.
It's something that often flies under the radar.
That's a little unsettling, to be honest.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what other data is being collected.
Right.
But let's get back to the business side of things.
Yeah.
You mentioned that this impacts companies' bottom lines.
It does.
Yeah.
How so?
Well, think about it. Every time a bot visits a website, it's consuming resources like bandwidth, CPU, memory.
All the things.
All those things cost money that keep the site running.
Keep it running smoothly.
Yeah.
And it's not just a few. It's a surge in bot activity.
So a small business with a limited budget could actually see their website costs skyrocket.
Yeah, they could.
Because of all these bots they didn't invite.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Especially problematic for sites designed to scale up. They can be tricked by this bot activity.
And then they're paying more for nothing.
Yeah. Unnecessary expenses, slow loading times.
Oh, so it's like your website crashing because a bunch of robots decided to have a convention.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's got to be frustrating, especially for smaller businesses.
For sure.
And I bet it's not good for user experience either.
Absolutely not.
Like if a website's taking too long, I'm gone.
Yeah, if it's taking too long, I'm out of there.
Yeah.
Slow loading times can damage a brand's image, deter customers.
Yeah, that's critical these days.
It's critical in today's digital world.
So we've got this hidden world of bots. Causing all sorts of problems. And this is where Bapasec's expertise comes in.
That's right.
They've developed something called Web Protection, MDR, to help combat this.
Yes, that's right.
But before we dive into that,
sure.
Can you explain what MDR stands for?
Yeah. So MDR stands for Managed Detection and Response.
Okay.
So essentially, their Web Protection MDR is a service that helps identify and block these harmful bots.
So they're like vigilant security guards.
Yeah, I like it.
For your website.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're filtering out the bots that are just there to steal data.
That's right.
And consume resources.
Yeah.
Without providing any benefit.
Yeah.
But wouldn't blocking all bots be a problem?
It would be, yeah.
Don't search engines use bots to index websites?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it highlights a key takeaway from Bapasec.
Okay.
Not all bots are created equal.
Okay.
There are good bots, like the ones Google uses for search indexing.
Right.
Those are essential for a website's visibility.
So it's about finding the right balance.
That's right.
Keeping the good ones.
Keep the good ones.
Kicking out the bad ones.
Get rid of the bad ones.
Like a bouncer at a digital club.
I like that analogy, yeah.
But how can somebody like me, who might not be a cybersecurity expert, even begin to know if they have a bot problem?
Well, Bapasec suggested checking your website logs.
Oh, wow.
If you see a large log file, that could be a red flag.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm guessing most people don't even know how to do that, though.
You're probably right.
Would something like Bapasec's MDR service handle that monitoring for you?
It would.
Okay.
Yeah, it's designed to take the pressure off.
Yeah.
You don't have to become an expert overnight.
Oh, good.
Sophisticated algorithms, machine learning.
So they're using AI itself.
That's right.
To fight the bad bots.
Exactly.
Clever.
It is clever.
That just highlights that AI can be good.
Yeah.
And bad. It all depends on how it's used.
It does. It really does.
But what stood out to you so far?
Good question.
What's resonating with you?
Well, let me think for a second. I'm still wrapping my head around the fact that these bots are out there.
I know, right?
Operating in the shadows.
Yeah.
Impacting our online experiences in ways we don't even realize.
It is kind of creepy.
It is.
And the idea that they're using our data to train AI algorithms.
Yeah.
It feels like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It does a bit, doesn't it?
It really does.
But let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about what we can actually do about this.
Okay.
You mentioned Bapasec's MDR service.
Yeah. Are there other ways to combat this?
There are, yeah.
Like, what if somebody can't afford MDR?
You're right. It probably comes with a price tag.
Right.
There are definitely things you can do on your own to mitigate bot activity, even without breaking the bank.
Okay, good.
One common technique is something called rate limiting.
Rate limiting.
Yeah, it essentially controls the flow of incoming requests to your website.
Okay, but wouldn't that also affect real users?
It could, yeah.
How do you find that balance between blocking bad bots and ensuring that real people have a smooth experience?
That's the tricky part.
Yeah.
It requires a lot of fine-tuning. You don't want to set the rate limits so low that you accidentally block real users.
Especially if they're, clicking through quickly.
Yeah, clicking through quickly.
Yeah.
There are plugins and tools available that can help set appropriate rate limits based on your traffic patterns.
So it's a balancing act.
It is.
But it can be effective.
It's an effective first line of defense, yeah.
What other tools are in the cybersecurity toolbox?
Another popular method is CAP-TCHAs.
CAP-TCHAs? Okay.
Yeah, those little puzzles.
Oh, yeah.
Ask you to identify images, type in distorted text.
I've seen those.
Yeah, they're designed to be easy for humans.
Right.
Difficult for bots.
But annoying for users, right?
They can be.
Yeah.
Is there a risk of driving away legitimate visitors?
Yeah.
There is.
If you make it too difficult.
Yeah, there's a trade-off there.
Right.
You want to strike a balance between security and user experience.
Right.
So the key is to use them strategically.
Okay.
Only require them for certain actions.
Gotcha.
Like submitting a form or creating an account.
So rate limiting, CAP-TCHAs?
Yeah.
Those are two starting points?
Good starting points.
Are there any other strategies?
Another layer of protection is to implement strong security measures.
Okay.
On your website itself.
On the website itself.
This includes things like using robust authentication protocols.
Okay.
Protecting sensitive data with encryption.
Right.
Keeping your software up to date.
So it's not just blocking the bots at the door.
That's right.
But also making sure the house is secure.
You got it.
Like having a good alarm system and a strong lock.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about having multiple layers of defense.
Right. So beyond just the technical stuff, there's educating yourself.
That's right.
And your team.
Absolutely.
Best practices.
Cybersecurity best practices.
Like what?
Strong passwords.
Right.
Being cautious about phishing emails.
Yeah.
Recognizing suspicious activity.
So creating a culture of security awareness.
Absolutely.
Okay, so everyone needs to be on board.
Yeah.
And remember, it's an ongoing process.
Ongoing process.
It's not a one-time fix.
Not at all.
Like eating a salad.
Right.
You can't just do it once and expect to be healthy forever.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
It's important to have a balanced approach to cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be so obsessed.
Right.
That it paralyzes your business.
Right. Nobody can get in.
Nobody can get in. That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so it's all about balance.
Balance.
We've been talking a lot about the technical side.
We have.
But there's a human element, too.
Absolutely.
Bapasec talked about this in their interview. Relying on credible sources of information.
That's right.
Especially when it comes to cybersecurity.
Yeah, they even use this funny Spanish term.
Oh. Cuñados.
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 What's that?
It roughly translates to know-it-alls.
Okay.
People who offer unsolicited advice.
Oh, I get it.
Usually based on incomplete or inaccurate information.
Like that relative who always have an opinion.
Exactly.
Even if they don't really know what they're talking about.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And in cybersecurity, this can have serious consequences.
Yeah, misinformation can be dangerous.
It can be, so it's important to be discerning.
So listeners, be careful who you listen to.
Be careful.
Don't just take your cuñado's word for it.
Do your research.
Yeah. Consult with experts.
Absolutely.
But let's think about this in the bigger picture.
Okay.
AI has the potential to make our lives easier.
It does.
More efficient.
Yeah.
But then we have these unintended consequences.
They do.
Like bots, cybersecurity issues.
It's a paradox, isn't it?
It is.
It really is.
And it shows how important it is.
To look at these advancements.
With a critical eye.
Right.
Understand both the benefits and the drawbacks.
AI is a powerful tool.
It is.
And like any powerful tool,
yeah,
it can be used for good or bad.
For good or bad.
Yeah. It's up to us to use it wisely.
It is. It really is.
It's like that old saying.
What's that?
A little knowledge can be a dangerous thing.
Right.
In this case, it's a lot of knowledge that can be dangerous.
A lot of knowledge.
If we're not careful.
If we're not careful, that's right.
So let's bring it back to our main topic.
Okay.
Website efficiency, cybersecurity.
Okay.
What are some key takeaways?
Well, I think it's crucial to recognize that bot activity is real.
Okay.
And it's a growing concern.
It's happening right now.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's impacting website efficiency, costing businesses money.
Right.
Potentially affecting user experience.
It's not just a theoretical problem.
No, it's not.
Okay, the second takeaway,
yeah.
Solutions are available.
They are.
Companies like Bapasec are developing strategies.
Yeah, to combat these threats.
Okay, so there's hope.
There is.
It's not an insurmountable challenge.
No, it's not.
But it requires a proactive approach.
It does, yeah.
Companies and individuals need to be aware.
They do.
Take steps to protect themselves.
Yeah.
Seek expert guidance when needed.
Absolutely.
And remember,
yeah,
even small steps can make a big difference.
Small steps can make a big difference. That's right.
You don't have to become a cybersecurity expert overnight.
You don't, no.
Just start by educating yourself.
Yeah.
Implementing some basic security measures.
Right.
Staying vigilant.
Staying vigilant. That's key.
It's like anything else in life.
It is.
The more you know,
yeah,
the better equipped you are.
Absolutely.
But I know it can feel overwhelming.
It can.
Especially with all the technical jargon, the constantly evolving landscape.
Yeah.
So for those feeling a bit lost,
yeah,
what's one action they can take today?
I'd say start by taking a closer look at your own website traffic. Even if you're not a tech expert,
right,
you can gain valuable insights by simply observing patterns, asking questions.
Like what kind of questions?
Are there any unusual spikes or dips in traffic?
Yeah. Okay.
Are there any sources of traffic that seem suspicious?
So it's like being a detective.
It is a bit like being a detective.
Looking for clues.
Looking for clues, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Piecing together the puzzle.
It feels empowering.
Empowering, yeah.
It's like you're taking control.
Exactly.
Instead of just being a passive victim.
That's right.
And remember, you don't have to go it alone.
You don't.
There are resources,
resources available, yeah.
Who can help.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's like having a guide.
It is. Like having a guide.
In a new and unfamiliar territory.
That's a great way to put it.
But going back to this idea of AI being a double-edged sword.
Okay.
Yeah.
A double-edged sword.
It's clear it has the potential
it does.
to revolutionize so many aspects of our lives. But then these unintended consequences.
Yeah, we've seen them.
Yeah.
The bots, the implications for cybersecurity.
Yeah. So do you think the benefits outweigh the risks?
That's a big question.
It is.
I don't think there's an easy answer.
Yeah.
It's like any new technology. Yeah. There's always a period of adjustment, a learning curve.
Yeah.
As we figure out how to use it responsibly.
Right. Mitigate the downsides.
Mitigate the downsides, yeah.
It's not about being afraid of AI or rejecting it.
Right.
It's about approaching it.
With a healthy dose of skepticism. Critical thinking.
Yeah.
Willingness to learn and adapt.
We need to be having these conversations.
We do.
Now, while the technology is still young.
Absolutely.
So we can shape its development.
That's right.
Ensure that it aligns with our values.
That's a great point.
As a society.
It's like raising a child.
It is.
You need to set boundaries.
Right.
Provide guidance early on.
So what's your final thought for our listeners today?
I think the most important takeaway is this. Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
The more we understand about the technologies shaping our world,
right,
the good and the bad,
the
better equipped we are to make informed decisions, to navigate the complexities of this digital age.
Yeah, it's not about being afraid.
Right.
It's about awareness.
Awareness.
And a healthy dose of critical thinking.
Critical thinking, that's right.
It's like when you finally understand a complex concept.
What is it like?
There's a sense of empowerment.
Empowerment, yeah.
Being able to see things more clearly.
Seeing things more clearly, absolutely.
And in today's digital landscape, that clarity is essential.
It is, yeah.
So for our listeners who might be feeling a bit overwhelmed by all this talk of bots and cybersecurity, what's one concrete action they can take today?
I'd say start by taking a closer look at their own website traffic.
Okay.
Even if they're not a tech expert,
right,
they can gain valuable insights by simply observing patterns and asking questions.
Like what kind of questions?
Are there any unusual spikes or dips in traffic?
Okay.
Are there any sources of traffic that seem suspicious?
So it's about understanding the role of bots.
Exactly.
In their own digital ecosystem.
In their own little world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like being a detective again.
It is. A bit like being a detective.
Looking for clues.
Looking for clues, yeah.
Piecing together the puzzle.
Piecing together the puzzle.
Oh.
And remember, you don't have to go it alone.
Right, you don't.
There are resources available.
Yeah.
Experts who can help.
It's like having a guide.
Like having a guide, yeah.
In a new and unfamiliar territory.
In a new and unfamiliar territory, yeah.
So be curious. Be proactive.
Be curious. Be proactive.
Don't be afraid to seek guidance.
Don't be afraid to seek guidance.
Well said.
Thank you.
And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive.
Okay.
Huge thank you to you.
It's been my pleasure.
For sharing your insights and expertise.
Happy to do it.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey.
Yes. Thank you.
We hope you gained some valuable knowledge.
I hope so.
Perhaps even a few aha moments along the way.
Few aha moments.
Remember, the digital world is constantly evolving.
It is.
So stay curious, stay informed.
Stay curious, stay informed.
And most importantly, keep exploring.
Keep exploring.
It really is fascinating to think about how AI is shaping our world.
Yeah.
It's like we're standing at the edge of a new frontier.
It really is.
Full of possibilities, but also potential pitfalls.
Absolutely. And as we venture into this new territory,
right,
the most important thing is we have a choice. We can be swept along by the current of technological change, or we can be active participants shaping the future.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that we're not just pawns in some game.
Exactly.
We have agency, a voice.
That's right.
We can use it to influence the direction of all this.
Absolutely. And that brings me to my final thought for our listeners today. Embrace a spirit of curiosity and critical thinking.
Curiosity and critical thinking.
Don't just accept things at face value.
Right.
Ask questions, challenge assumptions.
I like it.
Seek out diverse perspectives.
It's like that old saying, the only true wisdom is knowing you know nothing.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about humility.
Right.
That openness to learning and growing.
Yeah. And remember, you don't have to go it alone.
You don't.
Right. There are communities.
There are
resources, experts.
They can help you navigate this complex landscape.
It's like a network of fellow explorers.
Yeah, I like that.
Sharing maps and stories from their own journeys.
Exactly.
So be curious, be critical.
Be curious, be critical.
Be connected.
Be connected.
And never stop exploring.
Never stop exploring.
That's a fantastic note to end on.
Thank you.
A huge thank you to you.
It's been my pleasure.
For sharing your insights today.
Happy to be here.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us.
Thank you all for listening.
On this deep dive into website efficiency and AI.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you've gained some valuable knowledge.
I hope so too.
And a few aha moments along the way.
A few light bulbs going off.
Remember, the digital world is always changing.
It is.
So stay curious, stay informed.
Stay curious, stay informed.
And most importantly,
keep exploring.
Keep exploring.